Everybody, good morning and happy Thursday. This is the morning show on Stock Market TV. I'm Spencer. I have JC. I have Steve. I have Alfonso. And I have you in the chat. What's up, Theo, Cameron, Monocle Man? Is that how you say that? Fresh, Luke, Paul, Yozel, Purr. What's going on, guys? We got a great show for you today. Mr. Eddy Elfenbein from Crossing Wall Street will be on. We love talking to Eddie. He always brings us tickers that we haven't thought about. Or forgot about in some cases. But we got to talk about NVIDIA. We'll probably start the show off with that. It was kind of the big news of the afternoon yesterday. So we'll see what's happening with that. I know Steve has some good takes. I will not spoil. I don't even know what his takes are. So we'll have to find out. And then we'll have Sean McLaughlin on in about an hour or so. Talk options with us. And then we'll get out of here and then that's the plan. Kenny Glick will stop by for a few minutes. So that's what we got going on. Drop me a like if you'd be so kind. Here we go.
Hey now. I was just saying off air how excited I am to hear about Steve Strazza's NVIDIA call. Nick, they'll be the first to tell you, I am never this excited. I usually don't care at all, but this time I do.
I hate these short weeks, man. How is it Thursday?
I much prefer having Monday off than Friday off.
No.
That's just me.
Really?
How about this Juneteenth thing that they just made up, and we have a day off on a Thursday?
That the midday weeks off or midweek days off are terrible.
That one, like when July 4th falls on a Tuesday.
Hate it.
It's like this weird Monday situation. The rest of the world is trading. They don't care about our Independence Day or the Juneteenth. Like they're just going to keep trading. Like on Monday, markets were flying all over the world. They don't care that Americans are eating too many hot dogs, you know?
You guys, I'm hearing a lot about this taco stuff. This is a new acronym?
Yeah.
Trump always changes. Trump always caves in or something. What is it? What is it?
Yeah,
Trump always chickens out.
There's two things I woke up to this morning. One of them was taco. The other one was that a court has apparently ruled that Trump's tariffs are illegal, which as if that's going to stop him.
It's an internet. Okay, just to be clear, this is not a U.S. court.
U.S. court or not, as if any court is going to stop him. Right? I think it's so quaint, this idea that a court said something is illegal, therefore Trump's not going to do it. Like, come on.
Some of these supranational governing bodies.
What do they actually do?
Yeah.
Does anyone know?
There's a lot of them. Shout out IMF.
Does anyone know what the World Bank does or the IMF? Does anyone know what they do?
I don't know what they do, but it is a dope name. Like when you're just like the World Bank, you know, like they just own it. We're the World Bank. Like I am gold. Like I am gold. Right?
Does the World Bank have any deposits? Or
I think they're broke. I think the World Bank doesn't have any money. It's like the irony in it all. I just want to reiterate a couple of things. First of all, living on the East Coast for many years, then living on the West Coast for many years, and now back on the East Coast. You know, California and the West Coast gets a lot of hate for the bad pizza, and well deserved. It is an embarrassment to pizza. But I will say that the tacos on the East Coast are actually so much worse than the pizza is on the West Coast that I want to stop hating on the West Coast pizza and start hating on East Coast tacos. It's unedible out here. Unedible.
Okay. Fine. And I think let's do a reverse recess because I want
people out here on the East Coast don't even know what chilaquiles are, man.
So San Diego. Hey, Spencer, run the recess bumper. We're gonna do things a little bit differently today because JC needs to be here for this. So this is a really big one, guys.
Okay, we're doing recess first and then state of the markets. I like it, Strazza. I'm not gonna lie.
Reverse recess. First of all, who has NVIDIA calls expiring Friday? I do. NVDL, baby.
You see how he just pointed at his name in the back like he's wearing a jersey? You saw what he just did there?
Listen, JC, this is big.
He's just dressed like he's going to go play golf because that's what people from Connecticut do. They just dress.
So yesterday, we were on a meeting. I thought I was all ready for this meeting, and I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have no service. JC knows. I was in the cutest little fishing village, Goodland, Florida. If you know, you know. It's like 3 roads. 3 roads right next to Marco Island on your way to like Route 41 to head east. Little Bar, it's called. I've spent the last 10 years going up and down the Florida Keys trying to find the single best conch fritters, right, around. And there's plenty of good ones. Don't get me wrong. We stumbled upon this place. We got a tip, right? This guy said, go to Little Bar. You got to check it out. It's crazy cool. Relocated from Chicago. Super cool place. Right on the ocean. All fresh fish. Best conch fritters ever. The Little Bar, Goodland, Florida. It's not even close. They're like tiny. That's the trick. They're tiny. The ones down here, they're too big. These big old meatball looking things.
Yeah.
No, these were Swedish meatball sized.
Got
Perfect.
it. So the mininess increases the ratio of the conch to the fritter.
And also the ratio of the crunch to the stuff.
Ooh,
right?
The ratio of the crunch too.
I don't want Thanksgiving stuffing inside of there, right? I like mine a little crispy.
You're not wrong. Sometimes you get these like super stuffed things. It's like a meatball instead of it being, a conch fritter, right? You need conch.
Yeah. But the vibe at this bar. So if you're ever in Marco Island, we were at one of the resorts in Marco Island last night and the night before. You shoot over, it's 5-10 minutes. You got to go. You got to just see this little fishing village. It's the coolest thing. The bartender there, her name is Makita. Shout out Makita. She's a day trader. So we were talking about trading the whole time, VWAPs and stuff, our process. Rose hated it, but just the best people. We had so much fun. We went twice in the past 3 days. It's that good.
I like it.
Little bar.
All right.
Goodland.
Shout out Goodland, Florida.
Goodland.
Little bar.
Great fritters.
I like how excited Strazza gets when it comes to finding good food. It's a man of my own heart. We got bad news, and we'll move on to the state of the markets, but we actually got bad news yesterday, Strazza.
What?
Officially, one of my boys is allergic to shrimp, lobster, and crab.
Oh, shit.
I know. It breaks my heart, man. These are like 3 of my favorite words in the world is shrimp, lobster, and crab, and my poor little guy can't have any. Isn't that such a bummer, dude?
Forever?
I don't know forever. Sometimes they grow out of it, but for now, yeah.
Does he get like hives? It's like that, like
dude, he just blows up like it's just out of control. No. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's possible he'll grow out of it. Just look at me, so it can happen. Just give.
He's not allergic to the nuts. Remember, we thought we were having a nut situation. We do not have a nut situation, so we got that going for us. But
all right,
man, no lobster, no crab. That's kind of a bummer. So, all right, we'll live. Let's go.
We'll live.
More meat. More meat.
More meat. Yep. More cookies. Meat.
All right. Let's state some markets.
The chat is on fire today. He's just a sneaky orthodox. That's hilarious. I know funny when I see funny. Christo says, can he have caviar? Also funny. I think he can. I don't know if I can afford giving the 2-year-olds caviar. I'm going to keep that one to myself. Thank you very much. We got the Dow futures this morning. Not up much. They were up a hell of a lot more last night. I'll tell you that much. 55 points for the Dow to the upside. Gave it all back.
I don't like it. Yep.
This sucker was up 500 last night. Now up 60 points. We got S&P. Great lesson here that the futures market is not always a great indication of the future. Right?
I don't like the futures rippers. I would rather we be down when I go to sleep. Whenever we're up big, when I'm going to sleep, it can only get worse in the morning, right? I like a red to green reversal in the futures. I don't like it this way.
Well, it's chopping around. Dow up 60 points. S&P's up 40 handles. That's close to 0.75%, 59.45. NASDAQ 100 futures up 1.2% with NVIDIA ripping. That's 260 points to the upside, 21,640 for the NASDAQ 100. You got bond futures flat at 112. You got crude oil flat just under 62. You got copper up 0.75%, 471. You got gold up close to 0.5%, 3,335 for gold. Silver up 1%, 33.5, with the VIX down to 19.25. Over in funny money land, of course, you got Bitcoin up almost 800 points today. That's 108,600. The old ETH 2,700 even up 1%. That is a new 3-month highs for Ethereum in the overnight session. You got Solana flat this morning, 172 and change. And that brings the total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, $3.38 trillion dollars there for total crypto market cap. What stands out the most from this morning's futures?
I'll just say what Tommy's saying is true. I had this situation too, JC. He could come back to the shrimp in the future. Don't give up.
Of those three, shrimp, lobster, crab. What is it? Bench, fire, bench, cut, start. Bench, cut, start. Shrimp. That's like the new like
what are we saying?
That's the new like kill, marry, fuck is bench, like the more clean way to say right? Kill, marry, fuck is the new.
He's ranking shrimp, lobster. What was the last one again? Sorry.
Shrimp, lobster, crab.
Crab. Oh, definitely get.
I get it.
You can axe the crab. You don't need the crab.
I'm gonna go 1 crab, 2 lobster, 3 shrimp.
Okay, fair enough.
No?
Sometimes I'm in the mood for some crab. Really,
it's the least versatile.
I wake up and go to sleep in the mood for crab.
I'm crab over lobster.
I'm crab over lobster too.
Anyway,
king crabs.
Wait, Steve, you specifically said yesterday to me, you said, Spencer, make sure we start the show talking about NVIDIA. I tried to do that. I'm trying to do that. Okay, you specifically said that yesterday.
Okay. All right,
talking about crab.
Give the people what they want. Let's go. Slide one.
It was a banger of a report. Once again, there's a situation with NVIDIA right now with the export controls with China, and that's all the talk. And we're going to talk about why that's all the talk. It's because it should be. It is incredibly material to the business and the valuation of the stock, I think. So, Spencer, if you want to give a headline, what do we do? 45 billion? So we're basically at a 200 billion run rate now for this one. Absolutely massive. Right?
Yeah. Well, the headline would be that we're up 5% right now, right? This morning in NVIDIA. That would be like my headline, right? But the
bull flag resolved higher. The earnings report was the catalyst for it. We talked about this. We've been seeing this with other stocks, other Mag 7 names over and over and over again over the course of the past few weeks.
The EPS came in line, and the range was kind of wide because there were some adjustments there. The revenue came in above estimates. The guidance, I guess, was a smidge on the light side, but I mean, come on, we're splitting hairs here.
I think it was in line.
That's what it was more or less in line. It was like I think
in line, and they got the China thing going on. Are they Xing that out?
That means what is the China thing?
We're gonna get there. Finish the read. We're gonna talk all about it. It's so important.
Well, that basically was the read. Like the guy, the whole thing here is these H20 chips, right? That they talked a lot about that on the call, and the fact that basically China is offline at the moment, right? So all of NVIDIA's numbers are sort of reflecting the fact that they just lost $8 billion of expected revenue from sales to China, that the money that they thought they were going to get, and now they didn't get it, right? So everything, like there's like a cloud of China over their head right now.
Hold on, we'll do it. We'll go through it. Topher said he lives a block from Joe's. Can you imagine? I would be there every single day for lunch. They have like a really reasonable lunch situation at Joe's. You sit at the bar. They play CNBC all day too.
Hot take: stone crab's 4th best crab.
King crab number 1.
King crab number 1.
You put
blue
the
crab
Dungeness
number
up there?
2. Dungeness number 3. Stone crab far 4th.
I'm okay with that. I would have it a little bit higher. All right, listen. So here's the deal with China. NVIDIA used to be 95% of that market. We said, NVIDIA, you cannot sell chips to China anymore. The reason was because the U.S. wants to establish a first mover advantage and really be in the pole position for this great AI arms race, right? And that makes sense. I think that's great policy. I think we achieved what we wanted with that policy for now. China's going to catch up. They're going to get the chips from somewhere else, right? Somebody's going to catch NVIDIA, and they're going to get that level of quality in chips somewhere else anyway. Why not let NVIDIA now sell back to China? This is a $50 billion market. So if we do the math on that, I think basically Trump comes out now and says, okay, NVIDIA, or they carve out a situation, right, where maybe NVIDIA could sell to the Mag 7s, hyperscalers out there. This would be incredibly material to their revenue. If they're doing 200 billion, really 150 on a trailing basis in revenue a year, and they could get 50 from China, it's a quarter to a third of their business. NVIDIA has a $3 trillion market cap. The price to sales is about 20 times, more than 20 times, really. Okay. So if you take 50 billion, put a 20 times price to sales ratio on that, follow me? It's $1 trillion. It's $1 trillion. On a stock that's currently worth $3 trillion. I think letting them go back to China adds $1 trillion in market cap to their valuation. Stock could be up 20% that day.
It's actually not that different from the retail trade. Like a lot of these retailers were priced like they're going out of business. And it's like they're not going out of actually they're not going out of business, right?
I think Nvidia right now was very recently priced as a zero in China. Right. And I think the market's slowly coming around and pricing back in some sort of China business. People are thinking what I'm thinking. I'm not the only one thinking this. Right. But I think it's pretty damn obvious. Donald Trump loves money, but he also loves a stock market that's going up. Nvidia is a huge weighting in all the indexes, a huge holding in Americans' portfolios. He wants to pump it, of course. Also, why wouldn't he? Helps with the national deficit, tens of billions of dollars in tax revenues right there. And what's the other really big problem between the United States and China? The trade deficit. How about a cool couple $100 billion, right, to help out that awful deficit that we have with China, the trade imbalance? So I think this checks a lot of boxes. Jensen's out here being highly diplomatic about it, right, when he talks about this, and basically asking for Trump or the Trump administration to come around, hear him out. He was even coming on. He's saying all the right things, like we want the United States to be the AI leader. This won't change that. So I think they got to be really close. And the next headlines about China and Nvidia are going to be major upside headlines. Risk is so skewed to the upside at this point with this stock. Nvidia, for what they're doing, the way that they're growing, unlike any other company of their size has ever grown in the history of markets, right? They have a very, very, very reasonable valuation. And if you go out 2 years, right, and value on a PE basis 2027, 20 times, some of these other Mag 7s, high 30s. No? Can I get a hell yeah? $1 trillion market cap bump, JC, doesn't get you excited?
Here's what gets me excited.
$1 trillion.
Can you throw up slide 4, please? This is what gets me excited. Sorry for being old-fashioned, but this is how I grew up. I didn't grow up with your PE ratios.
Yeah, they're going to scoop it.
I grew up from failed moves, come fast moves in the opposite direction. Legend Brian Shannon taught me that 20 years ago. Yes, he is that old. He taught me that 20 years ago. True story. Seriously, true story. Think about that. Brian Shannon taught me 20 years ago that from failed moves come fast moves in the opposite direction. And fuck, is this not that?
It's great. I love this chart. You're seeing this all over the place. You're also seeing failed tops in valuation charts for the big techs right now that look very similar to this.
What do you think, Spencer? Is this not what Brian Shannon taught your boy 25 years ago?
If you say it is, I was going to say just what a gift it is. I mean, for Nvidia, you're looking at a stock that's gone nowhere for almost a year, right? It's done nothing for almost a year now. It was at 140 in June, right? So we're at 141 right now. So what a gift, right? It has this huge run up. It goes more or less sideways for a year, right? There are some ups and downs in there, but more or less. And now you got your shot. So Steve is talking me into it here. I like it.
And this stock has gone sideways for over a year now. It's done absolutely nothing in the middle of a bull market. This is the big name. This is the early leader. This is the poster child of the AI revolution. It's not going to participate in the bull market. I think the stage is set for some more outperformance from Nvidia in the future.
I mean, think about it. Here's how I see it, guys. This is important, right? So if you're out there and you're listening, why should I care about this? Here's why I care. And I don't care about almost anything, right? So the fact that I care about this, I think it's really important. Here's why. We're coming off some of the most extreme pessimistic readings for the stock market, particularly American stocks of all time. Individual investors, some of the most pessimistic readings in history. Portfolio managers, some of the most bearish readings of all time. fund manager surveys. Everybody thinks a recession's coming. Consumer sentiment, second lowest print ever. All of that is fantastic. Great. Everybody's angry. What more could we ask for? Great. Now think about what the most important, what stocks, what types of companies represent America. In other words, what types of companies are all these people so angry about, right? Why are we so happy that all these people are so angry? Speculative growth. Big American tech, communication, consumer discretionary, speculative growth. Mega cap, small cap, mid cap, and everything in between. Steve Strazza, is there anything more American about the stock market than speculative growth stocks?
No, you're absolutely right.
If these people, individuals, you people,
shout out capitalism.
Shout out capitalism.
Other countries can't do this.
Individual investors, portfolio managers, pros, amateurs, everybody angry AF. What are they so angry about? These guys. So if these guys are going up, talk about a tailwind. Talk about price moves first, then sentiment follows. If you're looking for an epic sentiment unwind in American stocks, Exhibit A. Tell me I'm wrong.
No, and shout out capital markets in America. I mean, other countries don't have this. I'm going to go on with Riley tomorrow, and he's going to tell me about how the best growth stories in the market right now, these companies that won't stop running, they're burning $500 million in fucking cash a year. It's insane. And they're out here getting hundreds of millions of dollars thrown at them by companies like Toyota. You don't get that anywhere else but here. Pre-revenue, burning $500 billion a year. Toyota's throwing $250 million in private placements at you every couple of months to keep you running.
Think about Chile. Hate to always be picking on Chile, but it's just a great example. They don't have massive speculative growth stocks in Chile.
No. Miners, maybe some miners.
I was going to say they dig holes in the ground and look for rocks, right?
Yeah,
and that's great, right? I mean, good for them, but it's just very different, right? That's not the American way. The American way, Strazza, is not to dig holes in the ground and look for rocks. That's like a Canadian thing. It's a Chilean thing. It's a South African thing, and that's fine. Ain't an American thing. You know what's an American thing? Speculative growth.
You're right. You're right, JC. And these stocks are the most fun, the most exciting, the best ones to trade. They're often the outlier trades. You can hit home runs with these things in bull markets. The way that these stocks ramp is just incredible. Just look at the exploration, the space and exploration stuff. Look at the quantum stuff recently. Got a lot of fun stuff going on with digital stuff.
To correct, semiconductors are the most important stocks. Software stocks are the best stocks. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
All right. So these are the most important stocks.
That's right. They are.
All right.
Look at this. Dude, what a scoop and score, right? We always say, we want to shake before we break. This is it. This is what that looks like. So you get the shakeout, right? Or you got the scoop, you got the score, and you already shook out, and now you're going to break out through the upper bounds of this range. I think you could draw a tighter line at those pivot highs after the summer highs last year and use that as the breakout level. I think you could jump it, but you do have a nice Fibonacci extension coming right there at your all-time highs.
Before I hop for the day, guys, I got to leave early today, but can you throw up Mackey's chart there, 6 and 7 there, Spencer, please? I mean, this is well done.
Whoa, Build-A-Bear. Is this AI?
Dude, Build-A-Bear.ai is up 17%. 17%. This one coming from the homie Jeff Mackey. I used to think that I had the best charts. I really did. I was confident that my charts were the dopest charts in the game. I did. I used to think that. And then Jeff Mackey comes along. I just don't have these kind of skills, Strazza.
He's got some cool handwriting too. Jeff could be a doctor.
JC, this is I think you're confusing Big Bear AI with Build-A-Bear.
No, it was a joke, Spencer.
Damn it. Okay.
We know Build-A-Bear is not an AI company.
Build-A-Big-Bear, BlackBerry, AI, the BBs, BBW, BBAI, they're all working. Just buy them all. Buy everything. GameStop's going up these days. AMC was up like 30% the other day. The animal spirits are alive.
I love you, Spencer. We know. Build-A-Bear, we know. It's not.
Well, but there's also a Big Bear AI. That's why I thought
it's very confusing.
You're
I appreciate you keeping me in check there, though.
You're confusing the people.
No, I know. My bad, guys. It was a joke. Build-A-Bear, we know it's not an AI company. It's in the fucking mall. Little kids build bears. We know.
Can I talk about some mistakes?
One more chart. Last one. Throw the other one. Boom!
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that guy.
That's
Spencer,
a build
throw in the chat.
Big bear.
I'm dropping it in the chat.
Yeah, link that. Guys, you got to get Mackey's charts. I swear to God, I really did think I used to have the best charts. I did. And I was wrong.
If Build-A-Bear is not using AI to build these bears, I'm shocked. They're probably 3D
definitely using AI. Come on. Who's not using? My mom is using AI. No, she's not.
No, she's not.
JC, have you ever made a terrible human error when trading from your mobile?
No, but I have this vivid memory of walking through Times Square, which is horrible enough. Walking through Times Square is terrible. As I'm getting stopped out of my lumber futures, and I'm watching myself getting stopped out of my lumber futures as I'm walking through Times Square. That was like maybe 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the extent of my bad memories of my phone trading.
Wait, I had an embarrassing blunder on Friday. But it wasn't on mobile. It was just really embarrassing.
Okay.
I was in a long-term account and I was multitasking. Never a good thing to do. And I wanted to buy more. What was it? It was probably VOO, S&P 500, right?
Yeah.
Super boring. I wanted to buy more, and I was done, and I looked up and I had sold.
Okay.
I was like, and the cherry on top of the shit Sunday, it was on the wrong account.
That's bad because that's your long-term account, so you probably lost some real money in terms of taxes.
And it was the wrong account on top of that.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid. So I make mistakes in my trading account all the time from my mobile. Yesterday, I'm sitting there. I got Fonz on. I'm in my mobile office. I'm in the passenger seat of my car. I'm trading like an absolute madman. I got Fonz on. We're putting on trades. I click the bid price because I like to work my orders, right? Like I'll come in cheap, right, and just see what I can get when I'm buying calls a lot. So I click the bid price, and I'm barely paying attention, talking to my girlfriend. I hit go. I look back 20 minutes later because I'm thinking we're up. Like this thing's moving. We're making money out here. I sold them. I sold the calls. I shorted the calls. I got super short calls when I wanted to get super long on a stock that was breaking out.
Did it cost a lot of money or no?
I lost a little bit of money. It's going to be okay, though.
It's okay.
Hey, look.
We'll leave it at this. Listen, it could be worse. You could be this guy. Throw up slide 8, though. Remember this. I just want to throw a little throwback here. Throwback for the kids who might not remember when Ethereum was first mooning. People thought Ethan Allen.
Yes.
People were accidentally buying Ethan Allen
JC?
when they thought they were buying Ethereum.
I have another one.
Meanwhile, ethanol futures also ripping. Ethan Allen had to change their ticker symbol because people were buying their shitty stock. What is it, like a furniture company, like a shitty furniture company? They were buying their shitty furniture stock, thinking that they were buying the Mooner.
Okay. Shout out Nikita, right, from the little bar. Great.
All right, guys, I'm out. Try not to get us canceled.
Adios. So this happened to me just the other day. What JC is talking about with the Ethan Allen. I'm pretty loose, right? I get an idea. I'm like, bang, let's get long. I click some buttons. I'm barely paying attention. I bought AMCX last week.
Yeah, we talked about it
on here. I thought it was AMC double.
No,
it's like a different AMC. I guess
it's a completely different company. Yeah,
it's the network, right?
Yeah, it's the network where Breaking Bad was on.
Awful. And so I bought that instead of what I figured it's an AMC double long. Let's go.
Now these are bull market mistakes.
I'm happy to talk about them on here.
Yeah.
I'll make.
All right, wait here. Well, let's bring on Kenny real fast, and then we have Eddy Elfenbein lurking in the wings. So we'll bring Kenny, and then we'll do Eddy.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Mr. Glick, what's going on? What are we buying or selling today?
I don't know. Bring on Eddie so we could sing. Kenny and Eddie were the popular steadies and the king and the queen of the prom. What's up? I don't know. I'm short the cues right now. Somebody come to my house and put me in a bag and beat me. What's going on?
You're short the cues. Well, we've been going down all morning.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a fade. But listen, guys, I predicted the future last night. I said the NVIDIA numbers were going to be blowout. The stock was going to dip for 2 minutes and then go up and be at 142.50 this morning. Oh, Crazy bull market predictions.
Stocks go up in the bull market.
Yeah,
Who knew?
It's getting harder and harder. I was looking forward to buying some Elf. That was going to be my play for today. You guys know about Elf? You generally don't want to short the ladies' products. And that's been my...
really? Because they've been destroyed, haven't they?
They have been destroyed. But last quarter, they got hammered again. We sat with that report looking for a little dip buy. The dip buyers did not come. They washed this bad boy to 50. And it was right smack dab in the middle yesterday. They did a buyout. The stock was getting crushed. I was looking forward to buying it. I wake up this morning. It's up 30 points from the lows yesterday.
Holy this stock was at $76 after the close. Is that right?
Yeah. They did a buyout, and apparently people got a little spooked, and then that spookiness went away. Yeah.
What is that? Oh, they bought somebody. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. I see. So, they bought Haley Bieber's company for $1 billion.
Yeah. So normally I would come in and say, all right, I want to short the stock now, but I'm taking a little cautious approach to my shorting today. Yesterday was phenomenal. We killed it on the Abercrombie and Fitch. Did well with the Dicks. Stayed a little bit long on the Dicks. I mean, stayed a little bit too short. Short Dicks. I don't know. There's too many jokes there. But we did all right. You know what trade was really nice? The Macy's trade. The fade worked. 12 got you 11.50. And then not only did we cover, but we covered and went long with very small risk. And my boy who's trading with me, he had a first winning day. So
look at that.
Yeah, nice day. I got it. That's fancy. The fancy desk I got him right here.
First of many.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna get him going on today, but we're gonna be a little cautious today. It's very hard to want to short this market, and the fades are very short-lived. So I think we're going to play, be very cautious. I'm super bullish. That's why, again, I don't want to get in the way of this freight train because I've learned my lesson the hard way over the last, 15 years that you just can't get in the way. And being this close to all-time highs, I think we're going to be there, especially on the Qs real shortly. And it's only like 15 more points to go. So
that's right. All right, guys, Kenny is in his room live at hitthebid.com. If you want to get in, you can get in. You can get Kenny's VWAP script. You can get his daily watch list. You can follow his trades or make your own based on his own VWAPs and strategy that he's watching. Hitthebid.com. Kenny will see you in the room.
All right. Be careful out there. See ya.
All right. Let's bring on Mr. Eddy Elfenbein, the proprietor of Crossing Wall Street.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Hey, Eddie, how we doing?
Good. Good morning. How are you guys?
Hey, Eddie.
Hey there.
You paying attention to this NVIDIA stuff? You into it, or?
Well, I've just been having breakfast right now. I usually have my lobster breakfast every morning, so I've been doing that right now.
Great. Excellent.
Is that only in bull markets, or you do that in bear markets too?
I do it all the time. I do it all the time. My crab and my lobster. But to your point, you gotta stay out of the way. I'm going to channel JC now that he's gone. But stay when you have a bull market. Stay out of the way. Just let the trend run. And great report from NVIDIA. It's going to bounce. Yeah. I felt like we were promised a recession. We were promised a bear market. It never came, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. The recovery has been pretty incredible, led by tech.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's interesting that a lot of times you'll get the symmetry. A sharp down trend is matched by a sharp recovery. A long, slow decline is matched by a long, slow recovery. And we just got that really, short bounce. It's been less than 2 months since the low. And, people are overthinking it. Just let it run.
There's a lot of talk these days about cycles being more abbreviated or bottoms happening faster maybe than they did in the past. Do you think there's anything there?
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely do. I mean, look what we had. We were up 17. The S&P 500 was up 17 times in 20 sessions. from the low, and that was also when we got Donald Trump's Truth Social saying this is a good time to buy. The president was exactly right. And then also we had, I think it was the third best day for the S&P 500 in 85 years. And people are still saying, is this a good time to buy? Is this, but I'm still worried about a recession. I'm still worried about inflation. I don't see the need for that. Go with what's working.
Are you interested at all in this new leadership from ex-US equities? I mean, you look
Interesting.
At countries.
It only took 15 years of trailing to finally get the rest of the world going. And, it can't be that unexpected to see what's going on. And I don't think it's any sort of long-term problem with the U.S. market. I'm glad to see it. It's just been waiting so long. And also we see that when we talk about U.S. equity, it dominates in the world. It's hard to overstate that, because so many companies are domiciled in the U.S. So sometimes saying exactly what is a U.S. company is sometimes not so easy to say.
It seems it's unfortunate to me that a lot of times what I'm hearing is, okay, international stocks are going to outperform now, but then like in the next breath, these people are going to tell you that because it's the end of American exceptionalism. How about just the fact there's an insane valuation premium on U.S. equities over stocks around the world for good reason, and that could get eaten into a little bit, right, or closed a little bit. Doesn't say anything about America.
Yeah, people want to throw the narrative on to a bunch of numbers when it's like, it just got a little cheap, and the other side got a little expensive, and they're working itself out. But it's no need to make proclamations.
Can you do ADRs in your fund, Eddie?
Yeah, sure.
Do you?
No, not right now.
Is there a reason? Like, is it intentional or just the best
stocks?
stocks?
A lot of times, it's a stock picking fund. So people think, is this, like I don't have any energy stocks. So people say, so is this your view on OPEC? No, I just don't see anything, at the moment.
They just unfortunately don't grow like software stocks like FICO.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh boy.
Wait,
Aflac for many years, great stock, and they get so much of their business out of the country. So they're based in Georgia, and they get most of their businesses from Japan. What counts as an American company?
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to say these days, right? So what are some of your favorites right now? Have you made any moves recently? When do you make changes? At the beginning?
I do it at the end of the year, and I don't make any changes for 12 months. Let everything ride. But we've actually had a string lately of some pretty good earnings reports. We had Intuit, the TurboTax people, just having a really, really strong report. Nice bounce from the stock. Another neat company is Heiko. They just had a blowout report. They popped about 7% yesterday.
What's that one?
Heiko, HEICO. Ticker symbol HEI.
Look at that breakout. Look at that breakout. Beautiful breakaway gap to new all-time highs.
Yeah, they make replacement parts for aircraft. And if you own a plane, you want to save every dime, keeping it up in the air as long as you can, and it's not so easy to get replacement parts, and Heiko can do that for you.
When Eddie's on the show, he's one of the only guys I literally actually take notes and I write down some of these tickers. I did it with Warder the other day too, because you guys just come on here and bring some of the best ideas. So picks and shovels for air transportation. Interesting.
Yep.
Is that for commercial or
for private? Commercial and military, and I think they do some aerospace as well. They dominate the field. It's there. If you want a particular part for an aircraft, there aren't many places you can go. And on top of that, there are a lot of strict regulations from the FAA about these parts, and Heiko sort of knows that minefield. It's run by a guy, and it has. His two sons run the company. Amazing long-term track record. I actually made a mistake a couple of years ago of selling out. I thought the price was too high. I got completely embarrassed by that. Went back in, and I've been very happy with it.
Talk to me about this Miller Industries. I just love the idea of owning a tow truck business. And this stock has really been hit good.
Hit very hard.
Its dividends in sweet spot, 1.7% yield right now. And really, it just checked back in with those prior cycle highs from 2021. So I think that's 47 level. You got some gaps there too from last year and just back in February or March, I guess. I think that's a great level to define risk for a trade.
I love this company. It's a little tow truck operator based in Tennessee. They were absolutely wrecked during the COVID period, and they went down at one point. I think they were about 3 times earnings from the prior year. Wow. So, and then the company was working very hard to build out its capacity. So it was investing a lot in that. So you didn't see these strong earnings numbers because they were investing so heavily. Everything sort of came together last year, and it had an absolute blowout year. Unfortunately, this year they offered guidance which was much weaker than I was expecting. I think they said they're going to earn $2.90 to $3.20 per share. And they said there were, sort of technical reasons about this and delivery of chassis. And quite, I wasn't expecting this, so not really happy with the company. Although I have to say later that they've had some good news more recently.
So they're actually making and selling the tow trucks to tow truck companies, right?
That's right. So that they get the and when I say tow trucks, these are these big, huge things that lifts up the big boom and can pull an 18-wheeler that's rolled over, that can pull it back on its side. They have some cool videos on their website. It's amazing what they can do. And they also do a good military business as well.
Love it.
Eddie, Fonz, can you bring up slide 10? Yeah, let's bring up slide 10. This is Eddie's ETF compared to the S&P this year.
CWS, baby.
That's right.
Yeah. So we got a nice little lead this year.
What would you attribute it to? Like, you are more value than growth for the most part, right?
Yeah, but I would not say I'm a strict value person. But a lot of it is sort of, you get the since I really don't have the Mag 7 names, it's that's such a big force. It tends to be the opposite of what Mag 7 is doing.
Yeah.
So it's by default it gets all mid cap value. But just a good year as the market became a lot more conservative. So we've been beating the market over the last 3 years. We've been around for coming up on 9 years. So
Eddie, I feel like your fund would identify as GARP.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
You don't hear about that anymore.
That's
a great acronym. Now it's all taco. All right, what else?
And also, let me say, for people who care about this, the beta of the fund is about 0.7 this year, so it's a lot less risk. I don't personally care a lot about that, but I know a lot of investors do.
Eddie,
FactSet is a name we have been talking about a lot internally. This is a research business, probably one of the best out there. They make these incredible earnings reports each quarter. Just love myself some FactSet research. So this one's FDS, and it's really done nothing for over 3 years now, just dead sideways in a killer consolidation. Looks ready to go. We're seeing a lot of these bull flags, like the one that's set up here over the past few weeks in FDS. We've seen a lot of these go higher lately.
Yeah, and they just said I think they're going to be reporting earnings in a few weeks. They're one of these off-cycle names, but I think that came out this morning.
Yeah, what weirdos? June 23rd?
Yeah.
Eddie,
I think they end in May 31.
Why do you want to send us a healthcare chart?
What did I send?
You sent the XM.
Oh, right. No, I had nothing. No grand thing. I just thought it was interesting to see a long decline in those healthcare. So it's healthcare divided by the S&P 500, and maybe a little bounce at the end. No grand plan with this chart. I just thought it was interesting to see, normally a pretty good industry just get punished so hard for so long. When these cycles turn, it's really hard to fight them. I think I suspect at some point the cycle would turn into them. I didn't mean this chart as saying it's a buying opportunity, but I always look for things that sort of stand out.
I think when you dig into the healthcare charts and healthcare relative trends, even more so, there are some really, really strong signs of exhaustion. For example, I like to use like the short-term rate of change. XLV SPY recently, the short-term rate of change, 10-day rate of change, negative 13.5%. We haven't seen that kind of reading in, I don't know, over a decade. I don't know if ever. That's worse than even during the financial crisis. Worst 10-day rate of change of all time. So
Right.
I think we're just so washed out. You're right. This is a good sector typically. And is it just going to be left out of this bull market? I don't think so.
Especially if the market turns more defensive, I definitely think you'll see more interest in these names. But just with a sector like this, it's performing so poorly relative to the market for so long, something's up.
You could get 7.25% from Pfizer right now.
Is that right? Oh my God.
I'd rather be there than junk bonds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are you in any healthcare names? You're usually in some equipment names.
Yeah, I love Stryker. I've had that for years. Great company. Delivers SYK delivers consistently rising earnings for years. Abbott Labs, another wonderful company. So I love the consistency that you get from a lot of healthcare names.
Both of those names, like you see them all over when you go to the doctor. You see Stryker on everything.
Exactly.
I know it's good.
Yeah, Abbott's been bunching up too. I've been watching that one.
Abbott looks great.
Yeah.
And you know what else? This might look better than anything on your list here. I'm going through all the charts now. Talk to us about Intuit, because this business is almost built like a Mag 7 at this point.
I love these guys.
This is a powerhouse business. It's a monopoly business too.
Exactly. There's nothing better than, the best thing better than a monopoly is almost a monopoly, because then it sort of escapes the trouble from the government. But they have TurboTax, and it's a wonderful product, huge market share. People love it. Has Quicken, it has MailChimp, it has several others that really are popular areas. And there was all this concern that the government or the feds were rolling out their tax plan that was going to be free, and that was going to completely wreck Intuit. So there was all this worry that that they were reaching the end, and that's not true at all. They're still very popular. This last earnings report, I'm going to say, market was expecting 1091. I think they posted 1165 per share. And that's actually their huge quarter, because it includes April, the tax filing deadline. So just outstanding earnings. The chart is looking good. I really like these guys. And so much of Wall Street is just down on them.
Yeah, and that's the best, right? You got that negative sentiment there. That's just great, because it's climbing that wall of worry right now. It's at new all-time highs. Mm-hmm. Whenever you hear this narrative about, taxes will be simpler in the future, you're going to fill it out on a postcard and send it. This has been going on forever, my whole career. It's the biggest fucking fade. It's never going to happen. It's complicated for a reason. There's a gigantic industry built around it. The government agencies overseeing it. It's not going to get any simpler. It's not going to get any simpler. It's only going to get more and more complicated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That damn tax lobby.
I think this is the best way. You're profiting from the unnecessary complication of the U.S. tax code.
Yeah, and that's a mega trend. That's a trend I would get behind all day. What else?
And they also trumpet that they're an AI company.
Well, it's not just TurboTax. It's QuickBooks. It's Credit Karma. It's
MailChimp.
MailChimp, thank you. Yeah.
And they're all like quasi-monopoly businesses. I will tell you, as somebody who used to use QuickBooks way too much earlier in my life, so good. I mean, this program is absolutely incredible. If you're a small business, it's one option. You're using QuickBooks. There is literally nothing else. You have to get to a certain size, and you start shopping around Oracle and some other bigger systems.
Right.
But QuickBooks, and then the accountants know it. It's a whole thing, right? You're using QuickBooks. They do it online. It's like a cloud system now. It's just great.
The Intuit versus the software looks
so Moody's
right now.
This is a good one. Was part of your bullish thesis that they would downgrade U.S. debt and everybody talked about Moody's for a couple?
I didn't confer with them beforehand. Personally, I think it's kind of a silly move. Having an opinion on the U.S. Treasury market is sort of like having an opinion on the sun. I mean, what exactly are you supposed to say?
That's a great line.
No, thank you. you can use it.
Thank you.
Moody's has probably been our best stock going back 8 years, I think. I remember thinking if this will fall below 100, it'll be a great buy, or actually even 110. I was thinking, and it dipped down to about 95, and we make those changes at the end of the year. So I jumped in, and then it was over 500. Not that long ago. It's pulled back. But just again, it's a monopoly. It's the big business. It's the Moody's Analytics, and they also have the investor services. But again, it's not a monopoly, but it's really, really close to one.
Is this something that you're specifically searching out, like in your process for picking these stocks? Are you constantly thinking to yourself, like, I want an oligopoly or monopoly business?
Absolutely. Love having those.
You don't just stumble upon these.
No, I'm looking for, the best thing is that who dominates their business.
That's great. That's great. I have never heard of McGrath Rent Corp.
Mm-hmm.
This is one for me. MGRC.
So they make my brain has to get fully focused this morning. They make the
modular storage to business.
Modular device, particularly like if a construction site is working out, if you walk by and you see all of the module compartments they have on construction sites. I've been doing that as I walk in any city, and you see McGrath everywhere. There was a problem last year is that they were going to be bought out, and the buyout got dragged on longer and longer and longer, and then the deal eventually fell apart. So I made a decision to keep going with McGrath this year, expecting to see some rebound. So far, I'm happy with the results, but that was difficult to go through because they announced the buyout early last year, and it was just sitting and waiting as the arguments between the two companies and the government just went on and on and on. So it's been a long-term play for us.
No, it's a good chart, long-term. Another sweet spot dividend yield too. Do you find that like the best companies, the best growth stories in the world, they pay very small dividends? Because I'm seeing so many of these stocks on your list, 1.5%. I think your fund comes in a little under 1%. In our research, we found the dividend stocks you want to buy aren't the ones paying 5% or some sort of above average dividend yield. You want to buy the ones that are actually paying below the market rate.
Yeah, I think that there's a good reason, because you wonder is the yield is so high, the stock is asking you to come in and take on some risk. So I'd rather look. I'm not strict on this, but I like companies that have long histories of steady increases. I wouldn't be bothered if they break that for some reason, but that's something good to see. Usually, I'm not overly impressed by a large dividend, but a lot of these pay. I think like Heiko, they pay a semi-annual dividend. It's not much, especially as their payout ratio. It's pretty low. I love dividends, an important part of investing, but I don't place it at the front of what I'm looking for.
Eddie, since you're changing the constitution of the fund every year, right? You said you changed it at the start of the year. So now we're kind of almost halfway through the year. Are you already starting to think about what you might want to add or remove next go around?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always looking at what's going on, and I make decisions right up to the deadline. But yeah, I'm looking during the entire year, looking what companies that are sticking with their game plan. I don't mind if companies say there's going to be a bad quarter or rest of the year, but I want to see, can I trust what the company is saying? Is that sort of aligning with what they've told us? So I'm looking out through the entire year, and we're coming up on the halfway point. So it usually gels around Q3 and Q4 that the names come together.
So you're also looking backwards. You're saying, okay, what did they say? What actually happened?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, can I trust them?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And you probably you overlook any short-term reactions to quarterly earnings reports because it's only one quarter, and you're like, I don't care. When it's probably a good feeling to just overlook all that stuff because it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, right?
Exactly.
Stock opens up or down 10% in a day. All right, it's one day off of one thing. Talk to me in 2 weeks, right? Or two quarters. So, awesome. Eddie, any final thoughts for us before we let you? You've been very generous with your time this morning.
I just look at this thing. I just have to laugh at this market because I feel like people went out of their way to scare themselves for no reason. For no reason, you're getting the economy is basically strong. All this trade war stuff, I feel, was one of the biggest head fakes we've ever seen in investing. We got a 20%, nearly 20% pullback. As I look back on it, I really just don't see why. And I think right now this is a very good market.
We put ourselves in a tizzy. People were freaking out back in March.
I think there was some reason for it, but yes, I agree with you that it was grossly overhyped and an overreaction. Right?
Are you paying attention at all anymore? You think we're totally past it? You think China, U.S. headlines come back, or are we done? Trade war stuff's behind us. Market's done.
I wish I could say we're behind us, but I don't think we are. I think there's headline risk, and I think that's going to continue to happen.
I agree. All right, thanks, Eddie.
Eddy Elfenbein, Crossing Wall Street. The link is in the chat, in the description to his blog and to his Twitter. You should check him out. You should follow him and check out CWS as well. Thanks a lot, Eddie.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
He was one of the best stock pickers out there, and we're so lucky to get to have these conversations with him so regularly.
Yeah,
we should bring him on in the beginning of the year, Spencer, after he rebalances, so we could talk about all the new names.
I think we did that. I think he came on in February to tell us about what he had bought and sold. It's 9:29. We have Sean in the house. You want to talk to Sean? Well, why not? Right.
Webull announces redemption of incentive warrants. Really? That's interesting. They had 2 warrants listed for the Webull. Okay.
I did not realize Webull's market cap was as large as it was.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I know that a lot of these SPAC companies, they end up with sort of artificially large valuations because there's nothing stopping them, right? But the fact that Webull is, what is it? It's $6 billion. Is it seems like a lot to me, right?
But Spencer, it's so much more ridiculous than that because the stock is in an 84% drawdown.
And therein lies the rub. How low can it go? Well, it's still worth $6 billion. So, which is why I said, probably last year, I was continually impressed with Rivian because it was in a 95% drawdown or whatever, but it was still a couple $1 billion, right? So it was kind of holding up. It wasn't like it was a zero.
Here's what's interesting about the Webull and the eToros, though. In a bull market, the bad ones get dragged higher by the good ones, and Webull and eToro are going to be talked about, right, in the same veins as companies like Robinhood. And Robinhood's performance out here, absolutely stellar performance and leadership, has been fully backed up by the fundamentals. The growth at Robinhood has been absolutely off the charts. I didn't think they could do it. But God, they are quarter in and quarter out. And Webull and eToro could be a catch-up trade, or you get some sort of really offensive environment, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to run those stocks and talk about them like, oh, they're going to do what Robinhood's doing, right? So that's going to be the story.
If we get in a true offensive YOLO, then I am 100% buying eToro and Webull.
Yeah,
for that. Right.
There's going to be a giant catch-up move there, probably. And that story that's going to be told is they're going to be more like Robinhood in the future.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
All right, let's bring on Sean. See what he's doing this week. Cool. Then we'll hop out.
Man, oh man, how great is that Eddy? Man, Eddy's the best.
Yeah. He's one of the best that we have on here regularly. So
He is the opposite in many ways of everything that we do. He is slow and steady, and he takes his time, and all he does is just simply crush the market. It's amazing.
He's a sick stock picker. Yeah, been doing it for a long time too.
And you know what he does, actually, what he does is incredibly hard. We make it sound like it's so simple, right? Because he basically rebounds his portfolio every January and then sits on them. And it sounds easy, but that's hard to do. Nobody we know, nobody we talk to can do that.
I think Eddy's fund is such a great, diversified vehicle for a long-term investor. Let him pick the stocks for you. He's coming up with these names, by the way, right, that I've never heard of.
Never heard of.
Indexes. They're not covered by analysts. They're not out here raising capital every other quarter, right? Like these crazy growth stocks. Like these are just real sick businesses, and he's doing the work, looking under the hood, and finding them all. I'm a huge fan of CWS. I own some.
Yeah. Eddy's the best. By the way, when you were talking about Webull, I had that same thought that you had, Spencer, about how it's whatever the market cap is now. Well, it was 6 times that about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
That's true.
Very briefly.
That's very true.
Crazy.
For like one day.
Hold on. Speaking of which, I know Sean's into it. Sean's been in the Robinhood, and I saw an email yesterday. I was doing my water aerobics, and I was reading emails on my phone, and I got one from Sean, and I yelped. I yelped. Rose was like, "What's wrong?" I was so excited. I texted him right away. I love this trade. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing with the Coinbase?
Sorry, I got very distracted when you said water aerobics. I'm just, it's hard for me to deal with that. And JC's blowing me up with text messages right now, so I apologize. Okay, yes.
Are you bearish? Are you bearish exercise? What's wrong with the water aerobics? I'm confused.
All right. I went to Jamaica this spring with my family for a little spring vacation, and every morning there was a group of people in the pool doing exercise, and they were all overweight American women in their 70s.
I'm there with them.
That's all I could think of.
We were at the JW Marco the other night, and they have all those classes and the yoga stuff in the morning. And I was actually rather disappointed at the fact that they did not have a water aerobics class in the morning. Anyway,
Coinbase. So I took yesterday's pullback as an opportunity to get long Coinbase. And I don't want to talk fundamentals here. I'm not a fundamentalist, but you and I both agree that with Bitcoin doing what it's doing and hanging tight, right above the previous resistance from later last year, Bitcoin, the bellwether of crypto, right? And it's hanging tough, and it's setting up for what appears to be another bull run. And when that happens, if and when that happens, given what the market's doing, we're going to see altcoins really start blowing up, as we always do in every cycle. And if and when that happens, that is very bullish for Coinbase, right? Because that's look, there are other places to trade the smaller coins, but Coinbase gives the easiest access to the most people, right? And they make a killing when people are trading those products. So I hate to put my fundamental hat on, but I only put my fundamental hat on because I'm looking at the chart, and I'm looking the way we had a big breakaway. We can't call it a breakaway gap because we're not at all-time highs, but we had a big gap following earnings about 3 weeks ago. And we've just kind of did a little consolidation following that. We're hanging tight. I feel like this thing's got new highs written all over in short order.
Back, just the middle of this month, 2 weeks ago, it gapped higher out of this little coil, right, on earnings, like you're saying, right into a pattern, another little coil that looks exactly like that one. Right?
Yeah.
High and tight again. And if you look at what cryptos are doing, there's no reason to expect these flags to resolve lower. We haven't seen that across the board. These flags keep resolving higher. And Coinbase is really expensive, but Sean's willing to pay for it.
Yeah, it's an expensive stock in absolute terms, right? It's a $256 stock as I look at it right now. That makes options expensive in those terms, but in volatility terms, Coinbase hasn't been this cheap all year, which, by the way, I find very interesting, right? The fact that volatility is this low in a name that has so much potential to rip. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to say that the options market is smart, but sometimes they're missing something, and maybe they're not seeing what we're seeing. But I think the upside here is meaningful, potentially meaningful. And if you could buy options here, if you could just buy long calls, you're going to get paid if this thing works.
I think it's crazy that the calls are so cheap right here, right now. I don't understand it at all. I don't know what the reason would be, because you know what else is happening with Coinbase right now? They have that post S&P 500 inclusion drag going on, right?
Yeah.
Remember when Palantir got added to the S&P 500? This is a really big deal. We're talking about the S&P 500. Coinbase is in now. These stocks it's like there's a relentless bid for them after they're added to the indexes. This just happened to Coinbase back when we were in New Orleans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm looking at the IV trend just for the past year in Coinbase, and right now IV is the cheapest it's been all year, which
It's ridiculous.
That seems surprising to me. I mean, maybe somebody knows something I don't know, but feels like a good time to position with long calls.
I love it. Bitcoin coiling here at all-time highs. Crypto looks great. That's all we got. It's a fast market, Spencer. Why don't you take us out? Sean, do you have a recess? We did recess at the top of the show today. Well, we did reverse recess.
We did
reverse recess. Hey, my recess is simply that I'm just happy to be here with you guys in my own office. There's some construction going on the first floor of my house. Yeah. I'm actually going to be kicked out of the house at some point today for the next 3 days because I'm getting floors stained and it's got air out and all that stuff. Yeah. So it's been, we've been kind of living like homeless people for the last few days, kind of shuttling in and out. We're staying at a neighbor's house down the street. It's all.
I didn't realize it was that serious.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to move all their furniture out. It feels like we're moving, but we're not. It's very weird here, man.
I love that because I get like out of office anxiety. I've been working from the mobile office pretty much all week, and it's great. It's fine, but like I can't do it for more than a day. I'm a big screen guy. I miss my screens when I'm not in front of them.
Yep, I'll be mobile officing all day tomorrow, and hopefully we're back in the house on Monday. We'll see, but certainly by Tuesday, that's the game plan. So
yeah,
just a little unsettled, it's unsettling.
Well, Sean, you still got the jam session today at noon, right? Still doing that. We were doing the jam session. Hopefully we can still do it from this room here, but that might be when I need to get kicked out. I'll let you know. It's still going to happen. It'll happen. It's just whether it's in this office or if I'm doing it from the back porch outside, who knows? All right. Members of Brick and Multiplier, of Mackey's Retail Report, of AAC Crypto, you'll all get your weekly videos today as well. And Gold Rush, go live at 2:30, Jason and Sam. So that's what we got today. Tomorrow's show is going to be jam-packed. We got Larry, we got Riley, we got Louie, we got a whole thing. So tomorrow, we'll see you there. Smash the like. Thanks for watching. Go make some money. YOLO responsibly or not. It's up to you. It's your money, your life. Do what you want. See you later.
Bye, guys.
I can't take no